Welcome back, Tom's Fury 03, I think. Um, we've had a little trip down memory lane, and it's fun, and it's just, it's just a bit of chat. Um, but at the same time, two things I wanted to say is one, how did we get here kind of thing. I mean, it is a joke. It's not like here is anywhere special. Still got a long way to go. So it is just about a story about, how do we get going? And but something more. But then at the same time there is a story there, and so the story wouldn't be complete without like the full truth in terms of um there were. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted because I'm still considering whether to break every rule I have and go and punch someone's face and who thinks I can't be touched. But anyway, um, yeah. So on the way to doing what we're doing now, um, I tried a bit of everything, and I tried getting into a radio station. I tried, as I said, I tried being in a band. I tried all these different things. And the problem is like a plausible argument doesn't necessarily mean a good argument. And let me explain what I mean by that in case there's any confusion. So I used to have this poster on my wall, and it used to say, "God made beer." No, was it man made beer, God made cannabis? Who do you trust? Yeah, and it had this big cannabis leaf on there. It was for stoners, and because back at that age, I was only 20s. My mates used to come in and go, "Ah, it's really cool, that, isn't it? It's really true. It's really true." And I go, "Why is it really true?" And they go, "Well, it just is, isn't it?" And what they really mean is they hadn't thought about it. They liked the poster, and but they're like, "Well, it just is, isn't it?" And then I go, "Yeah, but why is it? Why is that true?" And they go, and then they start getting serious, and they go, "Well, you know, man did make beer and beer booze." And I go, "Did they?" And didn't and didn't make cannabis then. Anyways, the point being, we get round to the point where I have to like shock their world by telling them that actually, alcohol's been around since long before humans even set foot on the planet. Um, and the the shock in them is palpable. But the point of the tale to them and to me, the reason why I did it was to say a plausible or cool sounding argument isn't necessarily a correct one. And it's something I remembered because it taught me probably more than it taught them. Um, how easily we can embrace something because it sounds right, you know. And when there's a bit of truth mixed in with something, that's what makes it the most dangerous. Where am I going with this, you're wondering? So when I talk about how we got here, and talk about people having failures in life and then success, or whatever top story, stroke story they've got. And with me, I've always been afraid of success and failure. Success because I don't want the hassle of it, and failure because I don't want the hassle of it. So it's always been a thing. Um, but so on the way here, I tried music, and I had people basically telling me that I had no talent at all and couldn't do it. Now they were right about one thing: I didn't have the talent. But what I found out later on is you don't need the talent to do it. You just need to be able to play. Uh, yeah. Um, when I was the guy I told you about the other day, the guy I mentioned who was with Sky, and the guy nearly got the job at Satanta Sports with. Well, when I was hang on a second, what was I going to say? When I was shit, I forgot myself. Hang on, damn, I have to edit these down. Completely blank. Damn. Oh, yeah. So when I started making videos, I hadn't heard from him for a while, and he started speaking to me. And he used to know, he was taught at college just a year before me, but back then they were splicing videos to do edits and stuff like that. The year I went up, they went digital. And when he went to Sky, they would splice and tapes and doing stuff that way. And then over the course of time, they went digital there with that as well. And what I realized was he had no digital ability whatsoever, none. Uh, for all his technical abilities, he just had no digital ability. So, it was much to his shock when he was telling me, how certain things worked on the internet, that like what a codec was, that I was telling him to stop boring me because I've been using them for years. Anyway, um, so codec stands for compression decompression, by the way. Um, so the thing was that he saw a video of mine one day, and I was expecting some tough love and some critique. But he basically slammed every single choice decision and everything that was in the video, and then told me, um, and then sort of tried to sort of tell me it needed some work. But had the assessment of it been true, that as in, if it was as bad as he said it was, then there's no amount of fixing that could have worked. It was just that bad, which probably was. I think it was one of the first videos I made, so it was possible. Um, and but pretty much every idea I had was lame, pretty much, as time went on, or not worth doing, even though it was my time. But every job that was a dead end, boring job helping him was worth doing. and and then there's other people in computer jobs, and they've told me that I wasn't good enough to do the job with computers, and that was the one job where I knew what my abilities were. Um, and despite being told that I wasn't smart enough to do it, I became a computer programmer in their face. Um, and the guy that helped teach me, um, yeah, we had a good relationship, and we both went out for fuck you drink over that, because we both knew right from the beginning. And I was making some serious programs for some big companies. I didn't get big wages. I was young, but I got some. Post of sorry, companies you still know now. Post office, Sky, QVC if they're still around. But people like that. Um, like I say, not big money. It was youth training scheme money, but it was what I thought at the time would be valuable experience. But point was, all these different times I was told, no, you're not good enough. Told by my friend who I made these audios and videos with, that I couldn't sing. He was mostly right, although for a moment during my 20s, I found a sweet spot where I actually could for a while. But then I kind of damaged my voice and then fucked it all up again. But, but not a natural singer. Um, and the only thing he's ever said that was useful, but at the time it was torture, was that I had a personality of someone who should be famous. It's famous was his way of just saying you should be doing something creative, and but none of the talent. And yeah, it was kind of a comment at the time, but because it felt totally true, and the truth of it stung and hurt. I was like, because I knew it. I was like, yeah, that is the problem. I've got I've got this drive to be creative, but I can't, like, can't. But don't forget, I'm measuring myself against a guy who is in him, who is a naturally talented. Pick up a guitar, learn to play the guitar in 3 hours, and then once he's learned to play the guitar, he'll play any song he listens to within one or two tries of hearing the fucking song. Just and then go and mix it all and everything himself. I mean, just then he'll go and play the cello. Then, just a fucking genius in terms of music and putting it together. So, I was putting myself up against this guy as being the measuring stick, and Jesus, what more the measuring stick. So, and it wasn't like, then I started playing with a guy. That sounds wrong. I started playing music with a guy called Neil, who I said to you, the guy that tragically isn't with us anymore. And his ability with a guitar was a little bit better than mine. Oh, what's happened? Something has just happened. Oh, his ability with a guitar was a bit better than mine, but his singing was worse. And so we got together, and I used to say to him, "Stop fucking singing. It's terrible." But I used to let him sing anyway because it was fun. But um, it was when I was with him, and I realized that we both cared enough that we weren't making the greatest of music, but we were making music, and it was like it felt good, and it was timed really well. And I couldn't understand why I had this timing with him I didn't have with a guy who was so good with music. So I remember going to speak to the guy with music and saying to him, "Do you actually enjoy music being as good as you are with it? Do you get any pleasure out of it whatsoever?" And he said, "No." He said, "No, none." I said, "Yeah, I thought so." But the moral isn't sorry, that's not the moral of the story. I went off on a bit of a tangent. The moral of the story is all these people told me that I couldn't do anything because I lacked this and I lacked that and I lacked this. And the one thing that I didn't realize about all of them, even the guy with all the talent that just talked to you about, even him, because the one thing I was doing that he wasn't expecting, and I didn't even realize because I was so naive, was I was writing better stuff than he could and didn't know it. And he was using it, taking credit for it. He admitted this to me. I mean, it's not, it was good that he admitted it to me, but and just using stuff, using stuff and saying it was him because he was kind of embarrassed that it wasn't, I suppose. And was sort of frustrated with himself because he couldn't come up with stuff. But I always felt like we were just a chemical mixture, and you had to combine the two of us together to get the best out of it. But I found out there was this kind of envy there, and that there, the guy from Sky, I was digital, he was analog. I was coming in, he was going out. I mean, when you look at these things retrospectively, you realize that I was one thing in common to all these people. I was a threat. I was a direct threat to some of their jobs because I was directly coming up, and and I was below them. I was, in other ways, I was making, whilst they could make me feel like smaller than them, then they could always feel bigger than me, no matter what a failure they were in their own life. And me being naive, stupid, the way that I have been at times, I believed it. I listened to it because I believed that why would they tell me anything? Okay, I might believe someone might just not be able to tell something's good. It's where you get a second opinion. But I mean, the way that they were doing it was, breaking it down professionally, is that, and I realized, they were mixing truth in with a lot of bullshit because the bullshit was you're threatening me, and I'm never going to tell you to keep going with certain things because I'm absolutely scared shitless that you're already creeping up on me and you've been doing it 3 weeks, So and I didn't listen to myself on any of those times. And it took me until I was, well, 40 really to not only not only have that, to stop doing that, but also find something that I liked enough to put that kind of energy into it again. And it's still been hard to put the same energy in as I used to put into those other things. So, you know, it's just, if I say anything to anybody, even like, it's hard to get a channel with 10,000 on it. It's not easy. It's not famous, but it's not easy either. And I know, there's some people who want it. And yeah, with anything that you want, you've got to be realistic. It's true. But at the same time, it's not very realistic to buy a lottery ticket, but it's also not fair to tell someone they can't win because they can. So, um, but you just have to assess things yourself, and just remember when you're asking for peers, remember what kind of peers they are, and no matter how nice a person they are, their own insecurities can become yours, because that's the idea. You pass it on. If you're negative, got negative in you, you'll pass it on negatively to someone else to try and get rid of it. So yeah, be careful of that. Don't let anybody take away something that you think that you can do, or even if you're not sure, you know, you try. You see if you can get better. If you've got a measuring stick and you can measure yourself getting better, then it's probably worth doing. You know, um, yeah, pretty soon with most things, yeah, because most things difficult. Like, I don't know, playing guitar or anything, they are difficult to start. The learning curve's steep, so within 4 weeks, because most people are giving up in 3 days. So by 4 weeks. So it's just things like that. So yeah, don't listen to people that tell you can't, because honestly, I don't ever trust a single human being alive enough to truly trust them in saying that to me, because I don't know if they know themselves why they're saying it. But it's obvious when you look at it afterwards. But yeah, regardless of the truth, just don't listen to it. Just, you know, I learned to video edit and use a video camera, not by reading a manual and not by sitting studying YouTube videos, but because I wanted to make a video, and I knew that I needed a video camera, and I knew that I needed a program called a video editor. So I bought this one called Pinnacle Studio 9, and I put a disc in, installed it, and I don't honestly remember ever learning to use it. I just remember using it. Um, and I think that's not due to my amazingness. I think that when you're that determined to do something, these things become arbitrary. They really do. That sounds like, yeah, what you're going to say? Adobe Photoshop's arbitrary? No, but learning it could be. If you want something that badly and there's an intuitive enough layout, you'll fucking learn it quick. You'll learn it quicker than you could ever read it from a manual. Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying that. Because I've done it, and I don't even know how I've done it. I've done it multiple times with multiple things, that so can all of you. So, I just think that it's rare that we have that much focus, which is why, one of the reasons why I've not been happy with a single video I've made since coming back, because I haven't once hit the target. Not once made a video that I would hold up and say, this is a good video. This is a 10 out of 10 zero news video, or even 9 out of 10. It's just, nah, because there's never been that full focus to make that as good as I can video, you know? And then even when you do that video, to do the further than I can video, those haven't happened yet. So yeah, but just, if they say you can't, ask yourself why, and then the next time they say you can't, say no, you can't. Then say no, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't, and then just do it, the other one first, and that's it. Um, Don't get me wrong. If you're tone deaf and you sing like a fucking beach whale, give up. But other than that, yeah, don't listen to the bullshit. And because yeah, only you know when you're failing at something. Don't let anybody else tell you that. Seriously, it's the only tiny piece of wisdom I have for you. Because if you're one of these people that doubt yourself, looking for confidence in other people, you won't find it. You have to find it in yourself. Because other people will tell you whatever they're feeling at the time, and they won't even necessarily mean it maliciously. Tom Fury, Zero News, or whatever the fuck we're on, Zero Threes, I should say. Calling it a day for now, my friends. I'm gonna play that weird video I played earlier on because I made this ages ago and I don't even know why. Right, and then I'll catch you soon. In this place, I'm free. In this place, I can talk to you about mental health, behind the scenes, how Zero News is actually created, my own interests like weather, sometimes just talking crap. This is the place where I get to be me, and you get to decide for yourself what you think, and to see if I mirror a part of you that you didn't realize was there. And maybe one day make it a place where you feel safe to air your own opinions. Whether it's from the weather to the meaning of life, there is no boundary.